This video is dedicated to the subjects and curriculums I loved during this school year. Summer is almost here. I believe that I am more excited than my children. Coming to the end of the school year as a homeschooling mama of 7, I've put in the time this year and I'm ready to reap the benefits of not doing school with my children. Although we do a lot of learning in the summer, I take a big summer break from our regular homeschool routines. And I do believe that this is for my sake. Today I'm going to share with you my favorites of the year. Hello, I'm Danielle Hogan and this is Hogan Life. I have to tell you, there are times in the year where I literally feel like a crazy person. If you have homeschooled at all, you have these moments where you just find a great fit for your family or for one of your children and just, it makes you want to do a jig. You get me? Because in homeschool, I just feel like you have all this wiggle room to experiment with what is best for your children, what is best for your family and your schedule and the way you want to do life together. So without further ado, what I loved this year in our homeschooling. First thing is the early American history from the Beautiful Feet curriculum. I am a sucker for beautiful illustrations in books. I just love a literature approach to history. So this bundle of books I purchased was K through 3rd grade. And I have kids who are much older than that. Yet we did this curriculum all together. I am a firm believer that all children love picture books, even teenagers. My oldest daughter, she's 17, is the only one who didn't participate with us in our history time. So the lowdown is, it's not cheap. And when you get a stack of beautifully illustrated books, yeah, it's not cheap. You're buying all the books. I think it's around $285. I got it without the teacher's manual, so it was about $230. I did borrow the teacher's manual from my sister, so if you have someone who would be interested in sharing, or you taking it 1 year or for the first semester and them doing it the second semester, those are options, splitting the cost of these curriculums. But honestly, I love this teacher's manual. Look at it. This is what a teacher's manual should look like. Each lesson has about a half page of instructions for free. You download the printables and then you just print them off yourself. I have a ton of kids, so I did have to get those history notebooks for each one of my children, or at least for 4 of them. And then while you are reading the passages of history, your children can color the coloring page or write in their notebooks. Now, if you have children who are more advanced and you still want them to participate in this history lesson, they can write more in their notebooks. You can have them write paragraphs or even an essay. So to me, it is really versatile with a large spectrum of children, a lot of different ages I have, and this fit in my basket time, which was perfect. So when we have our hour of basket time together, we can get our history out of the way. Make himself king over the Indian islands. I can keep these and in a couple years, just redo the entire curriculum when my younger children are older. If you have a lot of kids, some of these curriculums that you purchase in a year are going to be the gift that keep on giving as you continue to homeschool your younger children. I'm going to link this package in the description box. The next thing I loved in our school year this year was the IW Spelling the Phonics Zoo. I love the size. It doesn't take up much space. You can only imagine how overrun with homeschool stuff I am after doing this for so many years. I guess I've been actively homeschooling for 12 solid years. The way I structure my homeschool is that I do curriculum with lots of different ages. So I love this for 3 of my boys. 9, 11, and 15 are all doing this spelling. I also have this in our basket time. So I downloaded the CDs that you get in this bundle. It's $99. You can also get the bundle without the CDs. I really use the CDs. So I downloaded the CD on my computer and then I just play the spelling test during our basket time. I love that you take the same test every day. And so when your older kids are just flying through the test because maybe the spelling words are easy, you can then go on with the older children to an additional test. The way they compile their individual spelling lists, I really love. So you can do this with multiple ages and then they are compiling their spelling list with their writing. So then each individual child is actually working on their problematic spelling words because every 5 lessons or so, you have a spelling test that is the individual child's spelling list. So this curriculum I will continue to do next year. We're just plodding along throughout the 48 lessons. I started it in the 2nd semester. I've had to continually adapt as I've had more children to different ways of doing things. And so the CDs are very helpful for me. I can be making my coffee and they can be taking a spelling test and then I just play the answers and then they correct their own spelling work. I don't like to put a bunch of time on spelling because I know that largely spelling is worked on by extensive reading, by writing, and wait for it, by typing. Now that we're in these modern times, typing actually helped my spelling so much in high school. So it's a minimal amount of work towards spelling, and it's repetitive, and it's building an awareness in my kids. So this is a little bit more of an investment if you compare it to just a regular spelling book, but I am doing it with multiple ages, multiple kids, and I will have this for all my children. The next thing I loved, which I guess I love every year, but it's our read-alouds. I think that I would have to say our adventures together during our reading is one of my favorite parts of our homeschool. I just love, love, love being together with my kids and sharing a story. I usually end up crying pretty much every book. And we usually always end up having lots of rewarding dialogue. It's just a fabulous way to learn. We don't even feel like it's school. So right now we are on the very tail end of Around the World in 80 Days. This book is by Jules Verne. It is such a fun adventure. I sometimes will read a chapter during our basket time, or we just squeeze it in some other time during our school day. Now I read this one with everyone around, but I don't think my 3 younger really get it very much. It's really fun when the book we're reading has a movie that's suitable for the family, and after we finish the book, we make a Friday night out of it, and we watch the movie and have popcorn. It's really fun.
A person today could go completely around the world in a matter of 6 months.
80 days.
I beg your pardon?
In 80 days.
My husband has a book he's reading with the boys, and this is in the evening, and it is At the Edge of the Dark Sea of Darkness. I totally love the title. And they also have been loving this year reading the Sherlock Holmes stories with their dad. We read Mr. Popper's Penguins. I can't say enough about reading with your kids. If you haven't read the book, Honey for a Child's Heart, get it, use it as a resource. You will love it. It's just super inspiring. The whys of reading to your kids and sharing those adventures together. And then the whole second half of the book is just reading recommendations for all ages. Good quality books that are mom tested, mom read. So I would be remiss if I didn't mention Teach Your Child to Read in 100 Easy Lessons. I'm on my 6th child teaching them to read. We're about halfway through the book, and it is just a very lovely way to go about it. It's a great combination of learning to sight read and phonics, and a really great first start. Plus, you know how I feel about not having tons of teachers' manuals everywhere. It is a one-stop shop, so the instruction is in there and then the lesson. I have been using this same book for all of my children. It's totally falling apart. And actually, it's the book that my mom used to teach my brother to read. Finally, what I've loved this year is teaching textbooks. It has truly been a godsend for me. Being able to go about the 3rd or 4th grade into a computer-based program so I don't have to do the checking anymore. When I only had 2 kids, it wasn't a big deal. Now that I have 7, it's a super big deal to me. I want to check as little as possible so I can go in there and check the kids' work at any time. It gives them 2 chances to get it right. There's an explanation if they didn't get it right, so they can go right away to the solution and figure out what they did wrong and then learn in that respect. But there's a few things I loved this year. If you have the time, put in the comments what you loved about your school year. I'm Danielle. Thank you for joining me. I'm so proud of all you homeschoolers doing the job, getting it done, schooling your children, persevering, drinking that coffee. All right, no one can mom your kids like you. I'll see you next time.